Hybridization influences the bond length. It always depends upon the bond length as well as bond enthalpy. What is the valency of carbon? Its valency is 4. Always terminals are denoted by CH3 groups. What do you mean by chain isomerism? Here two or more compounds having same molecular formula but differing the carbon skeletons. Hello everyone, I am Venu Prasad, Department of Chemistry, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today I am going to take some basic principle and its technique. Introduction of organic compounds, tetravalence of carbon, shapes of organic compounds, structural representation of organic compounds, three-dimensional representation of organic molecules, isomerism and its type, and fundamental concepts of organic functions and mechanism. Okay, now let us study introduction of organic compound. In 1845, Kobe and methane by Berthelot. In Kobe at 1845, okay, and methane was synthesized by Berthelot in 1856. Showed that all organic compounds can be synthesized. It can be synthesized in our laboratory by which sources? By inorganic sources. Okay, here organic compounds means they are the hydrocarbons. A compound which contain carbon and hydrogens, they are known as hydrocarbons. And we can see, for example, let us take benzene. It is an organic compound. Why? Because it has got carbon and hydrogen. So we can say that it is always organic compounds contain carbon and hydrogen. Okay. Next thing is organic chemistry it's a branch of chemistry. It is a branch of chemistry that deals with the study of the compounds. Always we can synthesize some organic compounds in our laboratory. Tetravalence of carbon. What do you mean by tetravalence of carbon? Atomic number of carbon is 6. And its electronic configuration 2,4, and it has got 4 valence electron. So it is called as always tetracovalent. For example, how to write the electronic configuration of carbon? Its atomic number is always 6. Okay, let us write the electronic configuration: 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. Okay, here what is the valency of carbon? Here it is the 4 is the valency of carbon. What is the mass of carbon? Mass of carbon is always 12. Atomic number is always 6. Okay, so it has got its valency is always 4. So it can accept 4 hydrogens. So it can accept 4. Carbon has got valency 4. So it can accept 4 elements. Okay, for example, let us take one carbon. For that 4 hydrogens can be added because its valency is 4. So we can add 4 hydrogens to the carbon. If we add 4 hydrogens to the carbon, what we will get? What is the name of that compound? Its name is methane. So it has got 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. So we can say that it is a methane. Okay. Next thing is introduction of organic compounds. Here, if we are going to study the organic compounds, means we need to study about melting point, color, physical properties. Always we need to study about the physical properties as well as the chemical properties. Now let us see what are the shapes of organic compounds. Okay, here hybridization. Always hybridization influences the bond length. It always depends upon the bond length as well as bond enthalpy. And in the organic compounds, shape of the carbon compounds is very much important. Okay, here organic compounds, if you are studying, means we always depends upon the bond length, bond strength and shape of the organic compound. It's always dependent, because if you know the structure of the organic compound, 100% we can study about all its physical property. Here you see boron has got trigonal planar. Why boron hydride has got trigonal planar? Its molecular formula is BH3. Here all hydrogens are going towards the boron. Okay, so it has got valency is 3 and 3 hydrogens are added to boron and its bond angle is always 120 degree. Here you see, if the always organic compound depends upon the hybridization we said, correct, right? So if it is sp2 hybridization, always if it is sp2 hybridization, it is trigonal planar. If it is sp3 and it is tetrahedral, and if it is sp hybridization, it is always linear. Now we studied about the trigonal planar. Example which I have given, boron hydrate, and its bond angle is 120 degree. If we are going to study about the tetrahedral, let us take here tetrahedral. I have synthesized here methane molecule and its molecular formula is CH4 and its shape is always tetrahedral. What is the bond angle? 109.5 degree. Okay, this is the bond angle of for the tetrahedral molecules. If we are going to study about the linear molecules, let us take carbon dioxide. What is the bond angle of linear molecule? Always it is 180 degree. Okay, for linear molecule, always bond angle is 180 degree. Next, we are going to study about the structural representation. How you will represent the organic molecule by structure. Okay, a structural representation of organic compounds. Okay, here there are different types of structure. One is Lewis dot structure, complete or dash structure. Third one is condensed structure. Fourth one is bond line structural formula. Okay, now let us study Lewis dot structure. Here Lewis dot structure example I have taken is carbon dioxide. What is the valency of carbon? Its valency is 4. If we are representing by dot structure, we need to take first, what is the atomic number of carbon? Its atomic number is 6 and electronic configuration we have to write like this: 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. And for the oxygen, what is the atomic number of oxygen? Atomic number of oxygen is 8. So 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. What is the outermost electron which is present in oxygen? It is 6. Okay. Now let us represent how it will be. Okay. So all will say it is 6, but it is not 6. Let us write the in. If you are writing in all, if you are writing like this, we should know that 2s2, right? 2p4 it is. All will say that it is 6, but it is not a 6 because we should know that how much unpaired electrons are present. Only 2 it is. Okay. So if you are writing now dot structure, how it will be? Carbon's valency is 4. Correct, right? Next, oxygen. Correct, right? So we should write like this. So this is the dot structure of carbon dioxide. How? This is the structural representation of carbon dioxide in Lewis dot structure. Now let us go to the concept of complete or dash structure. Complete or dash structure. If I take today carbon dioxide, directly we have written dot structure. Now let us take structural formula or complete structural formula. How you will write the complete or dash structure? Here we have taken today ethane molecule. If we have taken ethane molecule means, what is the formula for ethane? C2H6. This is the molecular formula for ethane. If you are writing like this, we have to write, because ethane means 2 carbon atoms and 6 hydrogen atoms should be there. Okay, but I have taken here today it is not a ethane. This is how much carbons are present? Here 3 carbon atoms are present. If there is 3 carbon atom, what is the name for that compound? It is propane. It is always propane. Here 3 carbon atoms are there, propane is present. Okay, if next term is condensed structure. What do you mean by condensed structure? You are writing just in a molecular formula. You will know that molecular formula of any compound, right? Today I have taken propane. How you will write? CH3, CH2, CH3. That is a condensed form. If you are writing by bonded forms here, you see, just you are writing a representation like this. Like this. What is the molecular formula of this compound? How much carbon atoms are there? Here 1 carbon, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms are there. So if there is 4 carbon atom, C4H10 we can give. So this is the bonded formula representation. We will not represent any carbon hydrogens are present. But here terminals, always we should know that it is carbon atom CH3 will be present. Here it will be CH2, and here always in terminal that will be CH3. Okay. Next thing is bond line representation. How you will represent the bond lines representation? Here you see carbon and hydrogen will be not shown at all. I have said right here, just carbon and hydrogen they will not show at all. Just they will draw the line. Okay. Next thing, line represents carbon-carbon bond. Here they have given, we have given right. Just we have drawn a line. So we should show how it will be. See here, like this. This is a carbon-carbon bond. So what is the valency of carbon? It's 4. Correct, right? So at last we have to show like this. Here 2 carbon atoms are present. Here 2 carbon atoms are present, and it is 1 carbon is bonded to 2 here. So what is the valency here? Only CH2 will be at middle. At side terminal it will be 3 carbon atoms. At terminal there will be 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay. At middle here you will get 2 hydrogen atoms always. Okay. Next thing is the only atoms specifically written are oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen. Oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen. Here we can write like this. Okay. But in structural representation we can write like this also. Here terminal indicates CH3. This and all indicates CH3. Okay. Next thing is the terminals is always denoted by CH3 groups. As I said here, always terminals are denoted by CH3 groups. Next thing is the line junction. The line junction denote carbon atoms bonded to appropriate number of hydrogens required to satisfy the valency of carbon atoms. Here you see, just we can't write here only carbon. We should represent here how much, what is the valency of carbon. We have to satisfy it, right? Otherwise it will be not stable in atmospheric temperature. So always we substitute like this. So here carbon's valency has been satisfied, but here oxygen we have to represent like this. Okay, dotted form we have to represent how much lone pair of electrons are present, we have to show there. Okay. Next thing is the bond line representation. As I said, bond line representation, here always in terminal CH3 group will be there. That is methyl means CH3 group. Okay. Here also terminal is always CH3 group. Okay. Next thing here you see terminal represents methyl group. We have said here at middle always CH2 groups will be there. Okay. That is, next thing is, this is a aliphatic compound. This is a aliphatic compound. If we take a aromatic compound or a cyclic form, what will happen here? We have given like this. If you want to write how much carbon atoms are there, total 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atoms are there. So we have to represent like this. Correct, right? So how much? 1, 2, CH2 groups. CH2. So at side always CH2 group will be in the closed ring. Okay. Next thing is three-dimensional representation. Three-dimensional representation of organic molecule. How you will represent the three-dimensional structure of organic molecule. This was given here. You see this in this formulas. The solid wedge. Solid wedge is used to indicate bond projecting out of the plane of the paper, okay, towards the server. Why? That will be seen to our eyes. Okay, see here towards the observer. The dashed wedge is used to depict the bond projecting. Dashed wedge is used to depict the bond projecting and the plane of the paper and away from the observer. It will be away from the observer. Now let us take one example here, which is the molecular formula is CH4 here. Now let us take, this is a, what do you mean by this? This is a solid wedge. Solid wedge means it is a bonded towards the observer. We can see to our eyes, and below the carbon is given by dashed wedge. It is away from the observer, means it will be below. If you have taken like this, we have to show like this. Okay. Then the bond in the plane of the paper. This is carbon and hydrogen. We can say that it is in the plane of the paper. Okay, this solid wedge indicates that will be seen to our eyes. It is towards the observer. Back of the carbon, one hydrogen will be present, that is given by dash wedge. Okay, next thing is three-dimensional representation of some organic molecules. I have taken some examples now. Here you see water molecule. Water molecules means bond is in the plane of the paper. I didn't denote it by dotted lines. When we will denote the hydrogen, or we will denote the bonding in dotted form only if it is away from the observer. It is on the plane of the paper, and its molecular formula is CH2O. Here its molecular formula is H2O. Okay. Next one is, here you see I have taken the organic molecule ammonia. If we had taken organic molecule ammonia, here solid wedge. Solid wedge means it is in front of the plane and it is observer and it is seen to our eyes. So it is solid wedge. Here we have given dotted line representation. Dotted line representation means bond behind the plane of the paper, and it is on the paper. Bond is on the paper. So I have represented directly. Okay. Now let us take another molecule, CH4. Here also you see central atom is on the plane of the paper. Central atom is on the plane of the paper. So I have written like this, and solid wedge indicates it is seen to our observer and it is seen to our eyes. And dotted line represents here it is away from the observer and both the hydrogens on the plane of the paper. Okay. Next thing is isomerism. What do you mean by isomerism? It's a compound or compound having same molecular formula, but differ in physical and chemical properties, that are known as isomerism. Okay. Now let us take example is pentane. Compound will have pentane. Okay. Now what is the formula of that? C5H12. C5H12. So we have to take 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons I have taken. Okay. Side I have represented CH3. Side. Correct, right? Next, inside for the second and third and fourth carbon, we have represented CH2. Okay. What do you mean by isomerism? Compounds having same molecular formula but differ in physical and chemical properties. Here you see how much carbon we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also 5 carbons. But what I have done here, parent chain. Here directly it is attached and it is on the same path. But what I have substituted here, I have taken 5th carbon and I have substituted to 3rd carbon. Here we have taken 5th carbon and we have substituted to 3rd carbon. So what will happen? It will change its physical and chemical properties. Then what is the name of that compound? That is 2-methyl-butane. We have taken one CH3 group and we have substituted to 3rd carbon by removing one hydrogen. Okay. So these are the isomerism. There are of different types. Which and all? Structural isomerism as well as stereoisomerism. Okay. What do you mean by structural isomerism? That is chain isomerism, positional isomerism, functional isomerism, metamerism. Last one is tautomerism. Okay. Here in stereoisomerism, geometrical isomerism is there and optical isomerism is there. Okay. Here now let us study in detail. Okay. Now let us take first thing is types of isomerism. In that, structural isomerism is there. Structural isomerism means what? Compound having same molecular formula. Compounds having same molecular formula but differ in structures. Now let us take chain isomerism. In structural isomerism, first one let us take chain isomerism. What do you mean by chain isomerism? Here two or more compounds having same molecular formula but differing the carbon skeletons. You are differing the carbon skeletons. Here we have taken pentane. Pentane means 5 carbons should be there. How much hydrogen should be there? 12 hydrogen should be there. Here you see 3 plus 2, 5, 7, 9, 12. 12 hydrogen should be there. Okay. But here what I have taken? I have taken one CH3 group from last chain and I have substituted to second carbon. I have done like that by removing one hydrogen. So what will happen? We will change the name. We will get a name change. Correct, right? What is the name of this compound now? 2-methyl-butane. Here parent chain is 4 carbon atom. Largest chain is carbon. This is the parent chain. For that, which one you have substituted? Methyl group. At which position? Second position. For second carbon, you have substituted CH3 group. 2-methyl butane. Okay, now let us take another example. We have taken here pentane. By differing the, what we have to change here, just two or more compounds having same molecular formula but differing the carbon skeletons. Here attachments you are changing. Okay, here you see here what we have to do now. 1 2 3 4 5 total. Here also 5 carbons are present. Here also 5 carbons, but I have changed the substituent here. Here also we have changed the substituent. When you are changing the substituent, what you have to say here? 2,2-dimethyl propane. 2,2-dimethyl propane. Why I have said? Because this is the longest chain and it is a parent chain. How much carbon is there? 1 2 3. Correct, right? So for second carbon, 2 methyl substituents has been attached. So 2,2-dimethyl. Why I have taken dimethyl? Because 2 methyl groups are attached to same carbon. Dimethyl propane. Okay. Next thing is position isomerism. Position isomerism means compounds having same structure of the carbon chain. Compound will have the same structure of the carbon chain but differing in the position or triple bond or double bond or functional group. We are changing the triple bond or double bond or functional group. Here we have taken pentanol. Why we have taken pentanol here, which is the carbon chain? This is the carbon chain here. Correct, right? How much carbon atoms are present? 5 carbon atoms are present. Total 5 carbon atoms are present. And here functional group, which is a functional group here? OH. Alcohol is the functional group. Correct, right? So what we have to do? We have to name now. When your substituent has been attached to carbon chain, it should get a least number. Correct, right? So I have to number it from this side. So 1 2 3 4 5. Correct, right? If we numbering from this side, what will happen? You will get a least number. So that is 1 pentanol. If you are numbering from left hand side, what you will get? You will get 5 pentanol. Actual, according to the IUPAC rule, when the substituent has been attached to the carbon chain, the substituent should get a least number. So I have named from right hand side. Okay. Next thing, now here you see. Now let us take second example. Here also, which is the carbon chain? Here this is the carbon chain and it is the longest chain. So 1 2 3 4 and it is 5. So if we are naming from left hand side, here for second carbon you will get second position. Correct, right? OH will get a least number. If you are naming from right hand side, what you will get? Fourth position. Fourth position you will get OH. So this is a wrong option. We should not name or we should not number it from right hand side here because substituent is getting a highest number. So if a substituent is getting a least number, you should do from left hand side. So I have named 2 pentanol. Okay. Now let us take another example. They have said that we are changing the double position of double bond or triple bond. Here you see butene they have said. Correct, right? So butene means what? Ene means always alkene. Correct, right? So how much carbon atoms are present? 1 2 3 4. So 4 carbon atoms means butane, but here we have got double bond. Double bond means alkene also actually. So we should say that butene. At which position it has got? At second position. So we have said that butene. Okay. If you are doing here, okay, here also 4 carbon atoms are present. 1 2 3 4. 4 carbon atoms are present and double bond. We have to change the position of the double bond or triple bond. Correct, right? So in last we have said butene. Here we said but1ene because for first carbon double bond we have been substituted. Okay. So this is the position isomerism. Next thing is functional isomerism. What do you mean by functional isomerism? Compounds have same molecular formula, but different functional group. Then it is known as functional isomerism. Compounds will have same molecular formula but different functional group. Okay. Here let us take. Here OH is there and here also we have changed the functional group. Correct, right? What is the molecular formula of this compound? Here 2 carbon atoms are present. How much hydrogen? 5 hydrogen. Correct, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. And if we are writing, we used to write like this: C3 CH2 OH. So which is a functional group here? OH is the functional group. So we can say that it is a alcohol. If OH is present, we can say it is a alcohol. So we can say ethanol. Okay. If we are changing the, what we have to change here? We have to change the functional group. Here, how much carbon atoms are present? 2. So how much hydrogens are present? 6. C2H6. Same here. Compounds have same molecular formula but differing the functional group. Correct, right? So if you are changing the functional group, means which is the functional group here? Here OCH3. OCH3. OCH3 means what? CH3. We have given like this. Which is the formula? It is ROR dash. Ether, right? Ether. Here functional group is OCH3. So it is ether. Okay. See, this is known as functional isomerism. Now let us go to the next concept, metamerism. What do you mean by metamerism? It is due to the presence of different alkyl groups. It is due to the presence of different alkyl groups on the either side of the functional group. Either side of the functional group. For example, here you see CH3, CH2, OCH2, CH3. Here functional group is, let us take, we can take anything because both side carbon hydrogens are, both sides are same. Here CH2, CH3, here also CH2, CH3. We can take any one as a functional group. Okay. So we can name it as ethoxyethane. Now here you see what we have did. Just presence of different alkyl groups we have said. Correct, right? On the either sides of the functional group. Which is a functional group here? This is the functional group. OCH3 is the functional group. Which is the alkyl group here? CH3, CH2, CH2. This is the alkyl group. And this is the functional group. This is the functional group. Now let us go to the next concept, that is stereoisomerism. Stereoisomerism means, that is, first thing is geometrical isomerism, second one is optical isomerism. What do you mean by stereoisomerism? Compounds having same molecular formula, same structural formula, but differ in arrangement of atoms. For example, here you see same molecular formula, but differing in the arrangement. If the same groups are on the same side, here both CH3 groups are on the same side, then we can say that cis-butene. Cis-butene. Here both the groups are on the same side. Correct, right? But here both the groups are on the opposite side. CH3 groups are on the opposite side. So we can say that trans-butene. Okay. Next thing is optical isomerism. What do you mean by optical isomerism? Two compounds which contain same number and same kind of atoms and bonds, but differ in spatial arrangement of atoms, and they will have non-superimposable mirror images. They should have non-superimposable mirror images. Here you see COH group is there and OH group is there. Correct, right? If you keep a mirror to this, if we keep a mirror, what we got here? Here we got reversed, molecule is reversed. So here you see OH group is on the left hand side. Okay. Why I have said here D-lactic acid? If OH group is on the right hand side, then we can say that it is a D-lactic acid. If OH group is on the left hand side, then it is a L-lactic acid. Okay. This is known as optical isomerism. Next thing is fundamental concepts in organic reactions. So in organic reactions, the organic molecule reacts with an appropriate attacking reagents. When it reacts with appropriate attacking reagents, it leads to the formation of one or more intermediates, and we will get finally a product. We will not get directly product. First we will get an intermediate, after that we will get a product. Okay. So let us take today organic molecule. In organic molecule also can be called as substrate. Okay. Then we will get when it reacts with one attacking agent, we will get intermediate. Finally, we will get one byproduct and as well as a product. Okay. What do you mean by intermediate here? For example, if we take sodium hydroxide, it is treated with hydrochloric acid, we will get a sodium chloride as well as the water. Sodium chloride as a water as well as water. Here we won't get a sodium chloride in the purest form. So we have to recrystallize it. We have to make it pure by recrystallization. So we can say that first thing we have got sodium chloride in a impure form. So we can say that it is a intermediate, right? And after recrystallization, we will get a product, that is sodium chloride is a purest form product we got. And we have said it byproduct, they have said here. Which is the byproduct is the water molecule when sodium hydroxide is treated with HCl. Okay, here product is sodium chloride and byproduct will be the water molecule. Okay, next thing is in reaction mechanism, a sequential account of each step. In each step it is describing the details of electron movement. It will explain the how electron get transferred from one reagent to another, attacking and energetics during the bond cleavage and bond formation. It will explain the movement of electrons in each step. Okay, in each steps energetics during bond cleavage and bond formation, and the rates of transformation of the reactants into products, transforming the reactants into product. Okay, next thing is there are different types of bonds here, correct, right? Here in coordination bonds are present, covalent bond, and different bonds are present, correct, right? So here a covalent bond can be cleaved and it can be said by here covalent bond is present. So there are two types of cleavages, that is known as homolytic cleavage and heterolytic cleavage. What do you mean by homolytic cleavage? Homolytic cleavage means in this cleavage shared pair of electron go with the bonded atom. Shared pair of electron goes with the bonded atom. For example, we have taken AB. Here which is the bond? Here 2 electrons. For the formation of one bond 2 electrons are required. Okay, here we said that shared pair of electrons goes with the bonded atom, they have said. So if it goes, what will happen here? Cleavage takes place. What you will get? A plus and B minus you will get. Why I have taken A plus? Because we have said that cleavage, in this cleavage, shared pair of electron goes with the bonded atom, they have said. So here 2 electrons has been shared. What we have to do? Here both the electrons will go to the B atom. So here a deficiency occurs. So I have taken cation. Here electrons are all gone to B. So it is electron rich. Did you understand? Next thing is homolytic cleavage. Here you see it can go, 2 electrons are present. It will go directly to B or from B to A also it can go. Okay. You can get 2 mechanisms here. So let us take an example here. You see here Cl. Cl when it is kept in the open atmosphere, so we can say that it is H nu, Cl dot plus Cl dot. Okay. Next thing is heterolytic cleavage. What do you mean by heterolytic cleavage? Here in this cleavage the bond breaks. Here bond breaks in such a way that shared pair of electrons remains with one of the fragments. Shared pair of electrons remains with one of the fragment. Here you see 2 electrons are there. Okay. If it goes, here you will get one positive ion and one negative ion you will get. Okay. Here always positive ions are considered as cation and negative ion is considered as anion. Okay. In next session, I will be doing about carbocations, carbon anions and free radical. Thank you.